Morning, Steve Free in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, we have grain prices higher overnight. Yesterday was a very wild and very volatile trade with the markets trading sharply higher, led by corn and soybeans because of a CONAB number lower than expected for their soybean crop. And then the market sold off. And I think part of it had to do in the beans with the fact that U.S. Soybean exports inspections are still lagging a year ago. Corn exports are lagging a year ago, and wheat exports are down considerably from a year ago. And then we saw, I think, increased farmer selling of corn, especially both old crop and new crop near the session highs. We started reversing and didn't really have any buying underneath the marketplace. There was talk about China washing out cargoes of Brazil soybeans. There's about 10 million tons that needs to be loaded mostly to China out of Brazil. And right now the farmer is not selling. Grain is not moving to the ports, in part because of the talk of the lower crop, but also in the central and northern areas, rains are delaying harvest. The sell-off increased on some concern about China and their import numbers and lack of confirmation that they bought 2 million tons of U.S. corn. Wheat market continues to be a follower. I think this morning, the Argentina weather forecast is threatening. I think that there was talk about their corn crop being as low as 48 million tons versus the government's 54, USDA's 54, and that it could be as bad as 2018 when they produced only 38 million tons of corn. We also note that for the first time ever, Paraguay is buying soybeans from Argentina for import, and that Argentina's soybean oil values rallied overnight on talk that China was a net buyer of Argentine soybean oil. Here in the United States, we're going to be dry in the southern plains for the next week to 10 days. There is a front that moves across the area, but I think in most forecasts suggest the rains will be in the extreme eastern part of the hard red window wheat areas, the soft wheat areas, and the delta, not the hard wheat areas. So it's still early to be trading weather in U.S. southern plains, but I think that March will be just as dry as February. We'll also be watching the outside markets. Ukraine was complaining yesterday that Russian naval maneuvers were slowing their vessels moving out. We also noted that some maneuvers in Belarus also raised concern about an invasion, and the President of the United States suggested that families in the Ukraine, U.S. families in the Ukraine, leave. We also note that the markets yesterday and today are trading inflation. Stock market's lower, the dollar is higher, and the question now is, in March, will the Fed raise it 25 basis points or 50 basis points? And that's got some of the markets kind of running away from some of their positions based on the higher interest rates. And CPI data, 7.5%, higher than expected, and continues to weigh on people's personal disposable income and what that means down the road as far as demand. Crude oil is up on talk that supply is not going to meet demand this summer. As always, these are my thoughts, not those of ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day, and remember, always treat people like you yourself would like to be treated.